Hello, brothers and sisters. Today I wanted to discuss something I've been running into recently, and it seems to be an overactive mind. I think a lot of people, especially maybe Christians, tend to have this issue. I don't think it's only me, hopefully. Um, Lately, I've had quite a lot of emotional turmoil come up with some things that have happened with people I love and care about. I've done some things that are out of character, and very hurtful to who I thought they were. And you think you know who someone is, and then they do something that's completely against what they've said, and it's very confusing, especially when you hold that person close and dear. So I think when things like that happen, we tend to overthink, and I think not only that, but I think that bleeds over into overthinking our own salvation, our relationship with God. I think a lot of times our relationships with human beings, especially the ones that we care and love about, tend to bleed over into our relationships with the Lord. And I just want to remind people that we got to settle down. I think the biggest issue is not settling down and getting so hyped up on the noise that's going on in your mind that you completely buy into your own story, and like before you know it you're so lost in your own sauce that it's impossible to tell what's up or down. So it's good to just separate yourself from whatever you're thinking about. Try to just calm down and remember that the heart is not only deceitful, but we cannot rely on our own understanding, because the only thing we're understanding is the story we're fabricating. And before you know it, it just turns into an absolute mess where we're hypothetically making arguments with people in our heads, and trying to justify ourselves and tell them um, how they hurt us or what they've done wrong, and it's just turns into a disaster. And then before you know it, you're questioning your own salvation, and you go into, maybe it gets deeper and deeper, and you think like the love that you're not getting from human beings is also the love that you're not going to get from the Lord. And it's just before you know it, everything just turns into a hot mess. So I just wanted to kind of make this to tell people that it's okay to just slow down, and just chill out, just and then tell Christ, you know what I mean? Say like, Lord, I'm tripping. I'm tripping. There's things that are happening that are bleeding over into my relationship with you. I am unstable right now, and I'm shaky, and who I maybe thought this person was is not who they are, and I'm very hurt by the actions that they've done. Um, Whether they meant to do that to hurt you or not, and it's infringing upon my own relationship with you now. And I just pray, I pray to just slow down and connect with the Holy Spirit, because when we're so full of our own stories, it's impossible to hear from the Holy Spirit. There's no room. You're making no room. There's no vacancy inside your own mind. You're booked. Um, and it's just treacherous to just buy into our own nonsense. I mean, sometimes it's a real thing. Sometimes we're really hurt. Sometimes there is things in life that really grip your attention, but you also have to use discernment to see if these are fiery darts from the enemy. You know what I mean? It's like the devil's the devil's objective is confusion, and to separate people, right? So, and when sin is fully conceived, it gives birth to death, and sometimes people end up doing things that are horrible, not only to themselves but to you as well. And it feels like death. You grieve, and it's horrible, and you don't understand what's going on, and you just really got to pray, not only for that person, but to have a firm understanding of this situation, and just to let it go. It's no longer that I live, but Christ that lives in me. And we just gotta say like, sayonara. Try to use a little bit of reason. Try to, if that's what your mind needs, is some reason, write it down, and write it down on some paper. Figure it out. Like, okay, they did this and this. It makes me feel like this and this. What's the conclusion of this and this? And, before you know it, you just got to move on with your life. Um, I swear, it's people that we want the most love from, human beings in general, that end up hurting us the most. And I think that's so painful. You just cannot put your faith in human beings. You'll be disappointed every time. Um, and I struggle with saying that because I'm sure there's human beings possibly that might not happen. Maybe it's like a saint, because oh man, people are just so confusing, and it's just impossible to. Oh, it's impossible. The more and more you strive to at least be holy and develop a better relationship with Christ, the more you see how messed up we really are. Even like our own intentions and why we do things and this and that, and it's just like, wow, we actually are like jacked up. So I just wanted to say this and try to urge people, just there's a lot going on in the world right now. Everything seems to be getting darker, and it's very unfortunate. I feel like the spirit and the connection of people is getting worse and worse. It seems like I don't feel like anyone's hungry. I feel like you try to open up a good relationship or dialogue, or try to get Christ in there, ask him something meaningful, and people are very short. And I don't know if that's just Minnesota, um, but it really sucks. It sucks. I often find myself craving real connection and real godly people who hold themselves up to like the standard of morality that we see in the Bible. But anyway, just a little friendly reminder, like the chaos in our mind is not the chaos that we have with God. We have peace with God, and the more quiet we are, the more we can just settle down and sit down and read the Bible or listen to a YouTube video about some kind of something calming. Um, the better off we are getting into a place that is easier to just be open to the Spirit. And you know, uh, things will come. Things are gonna protrude in your mind and they'll hurt. But sometimes it's good to just take that hurt and not turn it into a story. If you get that zap, that emotional zap, and like, oh gosh, and then you imagine it, oh man, bro, oh, you imagine this whole story in your head, and just, oh, it's horrible. Everything is just, you just gotta stop yourself. You gotta stop. Lord, help me. I don't want to keep thinking about this. I don't want to dive into it anymore. Just it is, it is what that person chose it to be. You know what I mean? And it's not your problem. They are not you. They're responsible for their own choices, and God has a separate plan for you. And it's just time to get real quiet, figure out what that plan is, and just develop a relationship with the one who will not let you down. Oh, I was watching a video yesterday, and said something along the lines of, the one we cannot see will never let us down, but the understanding that we create that we do see will let us down every time. And that's pretty dang accurate, man. I can't tell you how many times I've created an understanding and had a plan, and I'm like, all right, yeah, I'm going to say this, and yeah, I'm going to do this, and then I'll show them, and it's going to be great, or we'll figure this out, and then boom, like the complete opposite happens. My plan meant absolutely nothing. I wasted all my energy and stress thinking about something that's never going to happen, every time. So it's like, control the things that you can kind of control in the moment, and just be mindful of your reactions and how you're speaking, and that's it, man. It's a season to get quiet and to get shaped into who we are and who the Lord wants us to be, and just try to stick to that path, because the world's going to let us down every time. But Jesus Christ never will. Amen.